this episode of I have panic attacks on a daily basis and what it is this time. It's a very common cause. I wake up in panic because of the dreams I'm having. My nightmares are extremely sophisticated. If I would characterize them in a genre, they are thrillers. They used to be slashers, but nowadays they are psychological thrillers. So last night I had panic attack at least 3 times, meaning that I go to sleep and I wake up in panic like they wake up in horror movies. That's my regular night experience. I wake up from bodily sensations, and those bodily sensations are caused by the images that my consciousness is playing on me during a rapid eye movement sleep, I imagine, because that's where we dream. And I've tried all kinds of things. I try to remain more positive before going to sleep. I go with a comfort show to sleep and I keep it through the night, be it Family Guy or be it Big Bang Theory. Whatever is like a very light comedic thing. I sleep with a little nightlight so that I could come to reality faster from whatever is going on in my head during sleep. And it doesn't help to tire myself through the day. It's not gonna help. The more tired I go to sleep, my head is throwing me a curveball every single night. It's just you never know from which direction it's gonna come. So today I was having dreams, and my dreams are extremely vivid. Like I sometimes can experience something in a dream where I wake up and I have literally a bruise in a place where in a dream something was affected. Very realistic. And oftentimes when the dreams are overwhelming, I try to write them down so they are not inside my head, they are out there. And once they are out there, I can externalize the fear-causing factors. So I'm not gonna tell about my dream because it's not the most interesting part. It's my head. It's not that interesting. But the dream was basically about being abducted somewhere abroad and then by false pretenses to be included in a kind of experiment where they take your consciousness out of your body and put it in a lifelike body or something like this. There were more or less 18 of us, I'd say. I don't know how they found a random 18 people to abduct them from wherever, but that's where we were, and we were kind of like making acquaintances with each other. I don't remember the last time I was making acquaintances with this many people in real life, so that was quite an exciting dream. What interests me a lot is how I tend to write my thoughts down in a panic / dreamlike state when I wake up in complete horror. So this is the note that I wrote just to capture what I was dreaming about. My consciousness was put into a lifelike robot, and I became aware that panic is a disease of the mind, so it didn't go anywhere. Even without heartbeat, it hurt me just as much. Maybe I should be a writer. Not that I'm a very good writer, but the ideas, it's crazy how the ideas are formed in my head. I write this down because I wake up in a state of panic which was ignited in the dream. So I am already dreaming of having a panic attack inside my dream because I wake up as a robot and I realize that my mind is stuck in this horrible agony of panicking, even though my heart is not pumping blood, even though I'm not having like a chest on fire as I usually have during night terrors. But at this time, the burning is just inside the head, and it makes me extremely scared and extremely sad at the same time. So I wake up and I try to console myself, but how? Because even though I will try breathing exercises, even though I will like pat myself and say, it's okay, I'm here for you, it's just cardio, let's breathe it out, panic is here. And it's very scary to realize that even if taken, hypothetically, even if taken out of the body, I will be in agony anyway. In all that fear and in all that hopelessness inside the dream, I go to sleep back again. I go to sleep, but oftentimes when I go back to sleep, my dream continues. I am one of those people who can wake up 8 times during sleep and then go on and live like different lifetimes in the same storyline or something like this. So I go back and I live a little bit longer as a as a robot, and I'm grieving my body somehow, and then I wake up in another panic attack, and this panic attack is caused by a little bit different thought process, and this is what I wrote down just to memorize what was going on. How lonely we are in real life that no one is gonna investigate into this. So in my dream, I realized that I'm gone, and it hits me that like my husband is gonna be looking for me, and like I don't have this like human connections that are really gonna look for what I used to be, and now I'm in this new state of whatever lifelike robotic system, and I'm in just as much pain. But I wake up in this true horror of how alienated you are with your mental things, and how how lonely it feels. It's very interesting to see what I write down when I'm like holding on to like parts of my sanity, which like supposed to help me come out from this horrible state of panic in between the dream and reality. But like I write, how lonely we are in real life. How lonely we are in real life that no one is gonna investigate into this. Nobody is gonna be looking for what you used to be, and you will have to live in this new type of agony. Anyway, in situations like this, when I have thriller nightmares during my sleep cycle, I feel very sad for myself because, nighttime and sleep time is for our brain to like rest and rewire and restart, and for us to be able to face the upcoming day, and for me to have energy to handle all the reality, all the things that can be too much in reality, like stress and people and doing little things that keep us going. But then I go to sleep and I'm bombarded with the ideas that are even maybe scarier than the reality that we live in, and it's just and it just triggers me into spiraling and again and again. Maybe there are people out there who suffer from night terrors. Do you remember them? How do you handle them? I tried to write down to externalize some of the ideas that are really bothering, because this like last phrase that I wrote down, it kept like I was in that character in my dream, and it kept saying like, how lonely is this, how lonely, nobody's gonna look into this, nobody's gonna find out, you're very lonely. And I'm laying there, I'm trying to come down from panic, but this thought is like eating me up. So I'm opening my phone and I make a little note so that this thought is out there and no longer bothering me inside the head. So that's one of those things I do when I get very thriller-like nightmares. But if anybody suffers from night terrors, which maybe are escalating into real, very real panic attacks, what do you do? What are the suggestions, and how do you handle yourselves? Any advice will be much appreciated. Thank you very much.